I think the Israelis are standing in the way of a new deal. I think the actions that have been taken make it virtually impossible for the regime in Iran to reach a deal with the Americans and to survive.
You spent a lot of time with Iranian leaders, talking to them. How would you rate their desire and capacity for an all-out war with Israel?
Well, I think the Iranian regime today is a very different one from the one we were dealing with in 2015, because it's been severely weakened by the events of the last 18 months, 2 years. It is now alone and largely friendless in the region, and I think it's much weaker than it was. So the discussions, the talks that have been going on between Iran and the US, I suspect had a different flavor to them, where the regime in Iran has moved its focus from exporting its ideology to surviving. And like all autocratic regimes, when the chips are down, the number one priority invariably becomes survival of the regime. And, I would have expected that the Iranians would be keen to do a deal with the Americans. It may be that that is not inconsistent with stepping up pressure by moving to breakout point and weaponization in their program on the ground. But one person who will not be keen for a deal between the Americans and the Iranians, any more than he was keen for us to do the JCPOA deal in 2015, is Benjamin Netanyahu. The Israelis do not want to see deals done. They didn't like the JCPOA. They wouldn't like a deal now between Iran and the US. The Israelis want to see a more permanent and, as they would see it, more sustainable and guaranteed end to the Iranian program through its dismantlement, but either by military action or by regime change.
Is it your opinion, though, that the Americans can, if you like, bring the Israelis to the table, or can the Israelis simply stand in the way of a new deal?
I think the Israelis are standing in the way of a new deal. I think the actions that have been taken make it virtually impossible for the regime in Iran to reach a deal with the Americans and to survive. Their credibility at home would be shot. And the regime itself is riven with tensions. There are many different factions within the Iranian regime, many different focuses of power, if you like, IRGC, military, the supreme leader, etc. So I think that the Israeli preemptive attack has effectively put paid, at least for now, to any prospect of a deal to halt Iran's nuclear weapons program.